Welcome back to the Caravan channel and the first of our summer specials on budget touring. Now before the break we brought you a quartet of great vans for couples. But what about if you've got a tight budget and you've got a young family and you're looking for a bit of flexibility? Or maybe the Bailey Pursuit 565 would be just the thing. I took a look at this Bristol built 5-berth last year. Bailey launched its all-new Pursuit range in October 2013, replacing both the Orion and Olympus ranges in an attempt to combine the best qualities of both. There are 6 layouts at launch, and today we're looking at the range-topping 565, which is a 5-berth model clearly aimed at the family market. The Pursuit is built using Bailey's Alutech method, with tough glass fibre skinned walls finished in a fetching pale grey, with simple decals. The front and rear are white, and they're carefully shaped to improve fuel consumption when you're towing. The laden weight is 1,441 kilos, and that includes a 212 kilo payload, which makes it ideal for towing with a family estate car or a small SUV. This particular van has the £399 premium pack, which includes an Alco AKS hitch stabiliser, plus a fly screen, a radio CD MP3 player, microwave, and a spare wheel. The generous gas lockers be moved to the centre of the van, near the axle. That reduces nose weight and increases stability. It also makes space for a useful wet locker in the front. There's one on each side of the van. The disadvantage is that it reduces stowage space in the kitchen. At 2.23 metres, the Pursuit is wider than the old narrow-body Olympus, and you notice that as soon as you step aboard. It's light and airy in here, largely thanks to this optional £356 sunroof, which really floods the room with light. The soft furnishings are the spice pattern, and they're set off by two-tone furniture with timber and Hessian effect, plus chromed fittings. Equipment-wise, there's pretty much all you could need. Some may find the kitchen a bit minimal with its 3-burner hob, combined oven and grill, and limited worktops. It's also a little bit cramped in here, particularly if you're cooking and someone needs to use the loo at the same time. The washroom is generous, with a swivelling toilet, basin, and an impressive separate shower. It's clear that this van has been designed with families in mind. The bright lounge area is comfortable and spacious, and these 2 sofas convert easily into a generous double bed. There's a freestanding table in the back of the van should you need it, or you can just use this neat little occasional table that pulls out of the chest of drawers. The rear here is ideal for kids. It can be separated from the lounge with this fold-out partition, and during the day it's the perfect play area. There's a small table that's ideal for drawing or doing board games, plus there's plenty of stowage to make up for the fact that the wardrobe is a little narrow. As single berths, these are really only for kids, but simply by removing the table you can easily convert it into a double. There's also a bunk bed that folds up neatly from the rear and sits across the rear window. It'll support a child or adult of up to 75 kilos. The Pursuit competes in a sector of the market where weight and price are crucial, against the likes of the Sprite from Swift and the Explore. There's always a compromise to be made when fitting 5 beds into a relatively light single-axle unit. But for families looking for an attractive, comfortable van at an affordable price, this new Bailey is very appealing. Now, picking a favourite from our quintet of bargain basement vans is a bit tricky, but if you push me, I think I'll have to go for the Sprite Major 4SB. The combination of that luxury layout and a bargain price tag makes it my van of the week. But what if you don't have the money for a new Caravan at all? Well, Nigel Donnelly set out a little while ago to prove that he could get round Ireland with an outfit that cost little more than a flight to Florida.
I'm a firm believer that having a great holiday is less about having the right car and caravan and more about going to the right places with the right people. I picked up this £300 Eldest behind us as a basis for some project work and managed to get it back on its feet with a few days and weekends spent with the spanners out. At the same time, I was offered a little Volvo which had failed the MOT and needed a bit of love to get it back on its feet, which it did, and I had a basis of a good caravanning outfit for about 600 quid. All I needed was somewhere to go. At the time, I was reading a book called In Search of Ireland by H.V. Morton, and the passages about the rugged west coast were really evocative and really got me going, and I thought, I need to go there. So I used this outfit as the basis of that trip, and this is how we got on. With a surname like Donnelly, I always suspected that me and Ireland would get on well, and so it proved in our tour. Having crossed the Irish Sea from Holyhead, we took the chance to see the sights of Dublin before making the trek across country to the western coast and the start of our tour. Morton paints a vivid picture of the Connemara landscape. Behind the grey land, moving round in a solemn dance as you go over the twisting road, are blue hills. Hills blue as the sea at Capri, with the biggest and the most golden clouds on earth like halos over their heads. Among the blue hills and the grey fields and beside the blue waters of little lochs and on the edges of sudden peat bogs stand small cabins, incredibly poor and marvellously white, and when the sun goes down this place is as grey as a ghost. Connemara. The roads here aren't always fast, so don't try to cover too large a distance in one go, but as soon as you leave behind the most popular tourist areas, you'll begin to discover the real island. The Connemara National Park itself is staggering in its scale and its beauty, but it isn't hard to see why this part of the country is so sparsely populated. The countryside is deeply inhospitable, with boggy ground and craggy rocks, making life hard for farmers, but it's a dream for visitors with a penchant for landscape photography framed by the brooding mountain ranges of the Frilly Coast in the west and Loch Currib in the east. It's a bit like the Lake District but without the tourists. Everywhere you stop for a picnic affords spectacular views over the landscape. If you haven't travelled to Ireland before, you'll find it feels more like a foreign country than you might expect, what with its euros, kilometres and Gaelic signposting. And you'll have to get used to the bumpy roads too, which aren't kind to caravans. They did our best to shake our eldest and our Volvo to pieces, but they held together basically, although we did have to restock the cupboards of an evening. We had a great time enjoying the landmarks such as the Burren's eerie limestone pavements and the beautiful little lighthouses along the way. Despite County Galway's best attempt, our outfit survived the trip remarkably intact, proving that with a bit of luck, you can really tour air on a shoestring. We'd enjoyed a fabulous tour of this beautiful country, one that I fell in love with just as H.V. Morton had done before me.
If Nigel's adventures have inspired you to buy a pre-owned van, but you don't know your hitch head from your handbrake, then you need a bit of expert advice. And that's where our John Wickersham comes in. Here he is with his guide to buying a pre-owned caravan.
Now, on the Caravan channel, quite often what we do is we have one of the editors of the magazines of Practical Caravan looking at brand new vans. And my duty here is to talk about buying a caravan, but not necessarily brand new ones, because not everybody can afford those. And I say, start off with a pre-owned one. Now, your first decision to make, and I would be holding up these earlier on in the week, is do you buy a caravan that's got a big single window, or do you perhaps decide to buy a caravan that has 3 windows? Now, the 3 caravan type cost a bit more money, but they're a fiddle with all the little curtains. And when the stone chip did fly up about 5 years ago and broke one of the corner panels, right in the middle of summer when I was waiting to go to France, it wasn't too costly to replace a little window as opposed to a big one. Now, I also like people to look at the way that they're made. For example, this big front panel here, because it's made in different types of materials. If it's made in fiberglass, that's GRP, which many of the ones on Eldis's stand still are. If you get a tiny little dent or something annoying down the bottom where you've bumped into something, anybody can repair that, a boat builder, a car repair person, your caravan dealer, and they can do what is called a patch repair, and that is a patch repair. Unfortunately, most caravans are built with something called ABS. You can tell it is because it's shiny on the backside as well. And if you get that cracked, they will replace the whole lot. Oh, it's only about £2,000, and it will take 10 weeks to get it delivered. You know what I'm trying to suggest?
Well, that sage advice brings us to the end of our first summer special. In the meantime, you can stay in touch via Facebook, visit our website, and don't forget that the Motorhome channel follows in just a few minutes. Until next time, bye-bye.